So I found this website called SpaceSpeak, and the way it works is it's basically Twitter but for space, where you give the website a message of 2,000 characters or less, and it beams it into space for you. And I thought that was very cool. That's an opportunity to actually send a message into space, and I don't know, there's something really cool about that to me. But if you look on the website, on the homepage, it tells you the most recent messages that have been sent. And this stuff would be incomprehensible to any alien. Like, this guy sent Jahzee Dwayne Onfroy. I don't think that that means much to an alien. And I'm assuming that these messages are being sent because maybe aliens will receive them, because people send, like, knowledge and stuff. Like, people send, here's stuff about Marie Curie, or here's looks like a Bible verse. But it's cool to me. It's very cool to me. But I want to do something a little bit more substantial than just sending text. I want to send something that could be deciphered by aliens. So I got to thinking, how can I use the text box to send a very simple message that can be interpreted by aliens to know something about us, just some communication with aliens. How would we do that? Well, first of all, what came to mind was the Arecibo message, and the way that message was constructed was, it was a I think 1,700 binary digits or something like that. But the point was, it sent a number of elements or a number of digits that was semi-prime. So an alien would look at that sequence and know, it can only be divided into 73 and 23. And then the natural impulse from that is to create a grid out of it. So I decided to just send a square, 43 by 43 specifically, because 43 is prime, and the maximum number of characters you can send is 2,000, and 43 by 43 is 1,849, which is the biggest semi-prime, square semi-prime. I don't know if there's a difference. That is less than 2,000. So, okay, now I have my first element of this message. It will be 1,849 binary digits long to create a grid that shows a picture. So then I thought, what should the picture be of? Well, the go-to thing is math, right? Because math is the universal language, that's what they call it, where basically anyone in the universe can communicate by math. That's a bad way of putting it. Just, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, that sequence comes naturally to us because it is a sequence of integers. And integers are the same across the entire universe. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. First of all, semi-prime makes sense. I'm keeping that. But I wanted to help them locate Earth. So I thought, what about putting a constellation in there? It doesn't require a lot of information to draw a constellation. It's just dots. And it can be used to locate our exact position. So I thought, what about the Andromeda constellation? The Andromeda constellation has 2 galaxies in it, M31, or Andromeda, and M33, the Pinwheel Galaxy. So those objects are very, very far away. So they can be sort of anchor points. And all the other stars in the constellation are closer, some of them farther away, but they will shift depending on how far away the planet this message reaches is. Like if it's 100 light years away, these stars will be in different places. So by using M31 and M33 as sort of anchor points, they can know where to put those stars. And then, when they know what our night sky looks like, they can know how to locate us, assuming that the stars don't move too much. The signal is pretty weak, so it won't go very far, so it won't last very long. So if it does get intercepted, they will be able to basically figure out where Earth is. So if you go on the website, you can see you can send a message, and it's 2,000 characters. This is my 43 by 43 grid, and this is basically how it works. First of all, there is a map of the Andromeda constellation as seen from Earth, but if you'll notice, a couple of these dots are 2 pixels wide. This one is Andromeda, this one is the Pinwheel Galaxy. And you can also see that right here and right here, right here and right here, these little things that jut out of the sides can be used to locate those galaxies. This length and this length are the same. This length and this length are the same. So that creates a little box, and it tells you that this galaxy, or this item, is this galaxy. And that's roughly the shape of the Andromeda Galaxy with a little microgalaxy in front, just like in this picture. The same logic goes for the Pinwheel Galaxy up here. And then, of course, it tells you when to start a new row every 43 digits, just so they know they did it right. Well, look who decided to set the camera down on something. So that's basically how this works. These distances correspond, as do these. These distances locate this galaxy, indicating that this and this are the same, and the same for this Pinwheel Galaxy, and these distances. And they can use that to anchor this map to find our night sky, and use that to locate us. I converted that to pixels, and then started to convert that into binary. And at this point, I thought it would be an important question to ask how this is going to be encoded to be transmitted. Because let's say they encode it as Morse code and then transmit that into space. Well, then I'm going to want to build a binary out of E's and T's, because E's and T's are the simplest characters in Morse code. And it would just be the least messy and the easiest to understand, because an E is a dot and a T is a dash, as opposed to, like, if I did E and H, it would be a dot and 4 dots, and that's confusing. So I want to do the simplest characters I can in the language that it's being encoded into. I couldn't find exactly how SpaceSpeak encodes its messages online, so I contacted Peter Beery, who is the CEO of SpaceSpeak, and I asked him, how do you encode these messages? Like, which character's which? And he just said, oh, it's binary. It's just normal, standard binary. So I said, okay, good to know. And then an idea popped into my head. I'm taking a binary sequence, converting each of those characters, each of those ones and zeros, into more binary, and then sending that out. So wouldn't it be easier to just take each of those characters, assign it to a character that corresponds with the combination of ones and zeros that the next 8 digits are supposed to be. Like, for example, the first 8 digits on this grid are 10000000. That corresponds with a symbol, I think the @ sign. So I could replace those 8 digits with just an @ sign in the actual message that I'm sending out. And then it will be sent as the original 100000000. And I thought, oh, this is a great idea. I can now compress 8 pixels into one character instead of having one character for every pixel, by turning every 8 pixels into one character by converting it from binary into English. I got really excited about this idea, and then common sense hit me like a cement mixer, because I want this grid to consist of a number of pixels that is semi-prime, so that they know to turn it into a grid. But if I converted it into characters that correspond with every 8 pixels, then I would need the total number of pixels to be divisible by 8. And there's no such thing as a semi-prime that's divisible by 8. So we're sticking with the 43 by 43 grid. A little bit lower resolution, but it is what it is. So I took this binary and I transcribed it here, and then I turned all the zeros into ones and all the ones into threes, because a 1 is sent as 000000001, and a 3 is sent as 000000011. So it's sort of like a blink once, blink twice, instead of blink, don't blink, and I think that's a bit easier to understand. So here's the final message. Let's just copy that and paste it here. There's our message. And it's waiting for its launch into space. And then once it launches, it'll start traveling out at 299,792,458, I think. I don't have that number memorized, but that many meters a second into space, hopefully to be intercepted by an alien race that wants to destroy planet Earth. And as you can see, the message was transmitted, and if I update the distance here, it has gone 70,764,433 miles in the time that I've sent it. It's about 60% of a percent away from Voyager 1. But look at that. 15% of the way to Jupiter. That's great. It's going pretty far, but it's not out of the solar system yet. In a few years, it'll be at Proxima Centauri. A few more years, it'll be at Vega, Bernard star. It'll just keep going. Isn't that cool? So, that's Earth's precise location transmitted to aliens. Hopefully we don't all die, but that is a definite possibility. Stephen Hawking would be yelling at me right now. But there we are. Isn't that neat?